جعفری دانشجوی رشته حقوق امروز اومده اینجا برای ساپورت بچه‌های آواره در سراسر جهان.
درود بر نگار.
This is an update on the emergency situation of the Iranian asylum seekers residing in various parts of the world, notably in Iraq, Turkey, and Greece. Since the inception of the Islamic Republic of Iran, more than 3 decades ago, countless numbers of Iranians have been forced to flee their homeland and choose life in exile around the world. Frequently, obtaining the refugee status in most parts of the globe is proceeding by a lengthy process involving the United Nations, procedural requirements. Due to the rapidly deteriorating status of all aspects of life in Iran, including political, social, economical, and so forth, the numbers of the Iranian asylum seekers are also escalating most rapidly every year. Hence, it has been causing administrative backlog and interruptions in the normal speed of the refugee process. While some reasonable delay is understandable, in some recent cases, such as Iranian asylum seekers in Iraq, Turkey, and Greece, the awaiting times have been significantly long and frustrating. In many cases, it appears that no process has been initiated, let alone being backlogged. In all of these stated situations, single individuals and families involving pregnant mothers and young children and newborns and infants have been awaiting for unusual long periods, sometimes more than a decade, for any court to hear their cases. In many of those situations, no interviews have been arranged despite the long wait. Frequently, when the refugee claimants have complained about the UN's lack of action, local UN authorities have refused to listen to their problems with no further justifications. In certain circumstances, such as the incident of December 12, 2010 in Turkey, instead of listening to their issues, local authorities seized the protesters and released them, only to press charges later. There exist many similar incidents around the world which overall represents unprofessional behavior from certain local UN representatives. In the interim, these asylum seekers, individuals and families have been living a statusless life in the host country and consequently were deprived of most essential and yet minimal rights of the citizens of that state. In the few cases where enrollment was unauthorized, the refugee child was subjected to harsh discrimination of all kinds. Examples include minimal to no access to sanitary conditions in the place of residence, lack of sufficient or even absence of washroom facilities, minimal to no access to heating/cooling conditions in the unbearable harsh climates of the host country, and many more. Regardless of the reasons behind the unprofessional performance of the specific local or UN authorities in these cases, the fact remains that these refugees are seeking asylum for no reason. The reason in almost all cases is the intense and widespread violation of human rights in their home country, like Iran, as a result of which their lives may be at serious risk, including imprisonment, harsh torture, and execution, and many more. Nevertheless, they are entitled to the basic human rights and freedom as any other individual in the world, which also fully agrees with the mandate of the UN, that is, to lead and coordinate international action to protect refugees and resolve refugees' problems worldwide. Its primary purpose is to safeguard the rights and well-being of refugees. It strives to ensure that everyone can exercise the right to seek asylum and find safe refuge in other states, with the option to return home voluntarily, integrate locally, or to resettle in a third country. The question is that with such high mandates so clearly focused to ensure welfare and rights of any asylum seeker, why many UN officers are acting so ignorantly and unprofessionally in the cases of the Iranian families? These families are living in exile because of various reasons they felt unsafe in Iran. These individuals cannot return to their homeland or will have to face enormous risks, in many cases losing their lives, their loved ones' lives, torture and imprisonment, and many more. Please note that it is no secret to the entire world that the government of Islamic Republic of Iran has been in an apparent rush to do countless executions, especially after the flawed elections in spring of 2009. Isn't it time that the UN, Iraq Kurdistan, respects its own mandate and start treating Iranian asylum seekers with the same rights and dignity as other asylum seekers in the world?
UNHCR, shame on you!
UNHCR?
UNHCR, shame on you!
UNHCR, shame on you!
UNHCR, shame on you!
UNHCR!